Hey everyone, so here is your week ended September 5th, 24th, 20th, 24th update. September 24th, Windsor real estate market, Windsor, LaSalle, Tecumseh. Real estate market update ended September 24th. Sorry, it took me a little bit of time to get this done. We want to wait for the weekend to be able to take the camper and move it over into winter storage so it can be winterized and a few little odds and ends fixed on it. That's all taken care of. And now the next break I have isn't until US Thanksgiving, when I fly off to Phoenix, Arizona for a week of seminars and things like that in my insurance and investments practice. The rest of the time will be hammered down in real estate, and I've actually got a few insurance things to have to get done this week as well too, which is always good because there's always a couple extra bucks, which is always good. So the week ended, we sold, the cheapest house we sold was $200,000. I've already shot that video. And the most expensive house that we sold was $990,000. I've already shot that video as well too. They're both posted here. You can take a look at what you can get for $990,000. And this house on McKay was a screaming deal. Screaming deal. So the Windsor market is heating up very, very well. We sold 83 houses on the week. And 74 last week. So that was plus 9. So that was 12% more houses week over week sold in the city of Windsor. And when we look at the week prior we had sold 64 houses. And that is a 30% increase in house sales in 2 weeks. Now what'll happen is we're going to get rid of our inventory. We're going to sell it all off here in the fall season. When we get into January, nobody's going to be listing their houses. We're going to be selling all the houses that we currently have available, and we will end up with no inventory again. And the prices, of course, will go back through the roof again. It happens every year. We'll see what February ends up bringing. Right now, and a new active piece of data that I'm starting to post, 841 active listings in Windsor, LaSalle, Tecumseh, 841. A lot of listings, a lot of things to choose from out there. Let's take a look at pricing points for this week and compare them to last week. So last week we sold Last week we sold $35,335,000 worth of houses. This week we sold $37,377,000, so $2 million more houses this week compared to last week. Average listing price last week was $545,000. Average listing price this week was $439,000, so $454,000, $439,000, a decrease. Average selling price in Windsor, Essex County, or in Windsor, LaSalle, Tecumseh, was $450,000, $328,000, simply because we didn't sell any $1 million plus houses. It's very, very hard to qualify for a $1 million plus house. $450,000, $328,000. Average sale price last week was $477,000. So again, very affordable houses in the city of Windsor. Very affordable houses in the city of Windsor. Have I said that enough? Very affordable houses in the city of Windsor. The government of Canada wanted to bring affordable housing back to Canadians, and Windsor is one of the most affordable areas and one of the most beautiful areas, with some of the most vibrant economics, some of the most vibrant food destinations, some of the most vibrant Tigers baseball games. In 15-20 minutes I can be to a Tigers game having a beer and a hot dog. That's what Windsor is. And it's one of the crown jewels of Canada, if you ask me. We don't have any bad weather here. You don't have to worry about hurricanes here sweeping you out to sea, as they do in the eastern provinces. Unfortunately, this week there were 3 people so far that have been killed in the hurricane that they had out there. It's a very sad day for those families. So when we look at the concepts of average selling prices coming down quite nicely, We're selling more houses as well too. And when we look at the data sets here, average over, let's go there. Average over bid was just $11,000. Last week's average over was $22,000. Now, I have a client of mine that's asking me, okay, Brian, why is it the houses that we're pursuing are so expensive? And the answer to that question is that the houses that draw their attention are the beautiful houses, the ones that are all done, that have a brand new bathroom in them, brand new kitchen in them, have been updated. Those houses you're going to be in competition for because all the people moving here want an all done house. They want to finance it, put their furniture in, move in, and be done with it. And that is what this client is also looking for too, is the all-done house. And everybody's going to be competing for the all-done house. And a house under $400,000. So everybody can qualify for a house under $400,000. Every client I have that's looking for a house can qualify for a house under $400,000. So needless to say, if I've got, say, 7 or 8 buyers that are actively pursuing houses, and I'm just one realtor out of 1,300 realtors or 1,400 realtors, however many of us are left standing, how many does the average, even if the average realtor only has half of one, that means that there's 700 people out there right now looking for houses in the city of Windsor that are under $400,000. Needless to say, you're going to be paying more for those houses because you're going to be competing against more people. It's easy to qualify. You'll also notice as we go through our underbids, you'll see that 1, 2, 3. So 3 houses under bid, under 250. Then we go 260, 277, 285, 298. Then we get into the 300s. Then there's not very many under bids. But when we get into the 500s, all of a sudden 498, 490, 490, 520, 530, 545, 555, 560, 568, 560, 5, whatever that number, 580, maybe that number is, the 585, 635, 660, 660, 665, 668, 700, 810, 835. Well, it's very hard to qualify for a $700,000 mortgage. It's a little bit easier to qualify for a $665,000 mortgage. It's very difficult to qualify for a $729,000 mortgage, but it's a little bit easier to qualify for a $660,000 mortgage on Edward, 1204 Edward, $660,000. Now there's another house on Edward that's currently actually sold today at 4 o'clock. It was a smaller house, less new, but it'll bring really, really great numbers because the other houses on that road are selling for $660,000. So when I say to a client who's looking at that house and say, hey, yeah, it's going to bring X number of dollars. Well, I look at what other things on the road have sold for, and that has to be this oldest house in a brand new area. So yeah, that's going to be selling for more money. Just is what it is, what's around it. It's not that house specifically, it's about what's around it. It's Riverside, David Suzuki Schools, George P. Vanier Schools. It's all of that, all combined into one. And it's Riverside, for gosh sakes. Riverside is the greatest place to live in the city of Windsor. That's why I live here. So anyway, this gives you an idea. You can see that, yes, as we got into the 6 and 7s and $800,000, there were a lot of houses that sold under their asking price. Asking $879, sold for $810 on Mark. That's South Windsor. Banwell Road. That's Tecumseh. Well, kind of Tecumseh. $899.9, sold for $835. And then the most expensive house that sold for $990, for some reason was bid up. It had a lower level rental unit that you could rent out for $2,000 a month. That's probably why. $899, and it sold for $990. So anyway, a little bit of a breakdown of the Windsor market. My lead flow has been very, very strong, still coming in. We have 841 active units for people to go out and take a look at in all kinds of different price ranges. Most of that is skewed to the higher end because the lower end is selling exceptionally well. And that's kind of the points to point out to you on this particular video. If you would like to talk more about real estate, would like to have a realtor who cares and will explain things relentlessly to you, then just give me a call. Be more than happy to help. 519-995-6145. 519-995-6145. I'm Brian. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great night. Bye-bye.